Assalamu alaikum. I'd like to discuss how we could score a 4 on 4 when it comes to paper 3, education for A2 sociology. So, to begin with, when we talk about this typical 4-mark question, remember the examiner asks us about any two things. It's a 4-mark question. The examiner is demanding us to write down about any two things. The best way to go about with this is to divide this 4-mark question in our head, divided into two questions of 2 marks each. Now, typically this question starts with the term describe, right? How do we score a 4 on 4 now? Remember, we've been asked to write down any two things. We've been asked to describe any two things, right? We get the first mark for identifying the first point, right? We get the first mark when we're done identifying the first point. We get the second mark when we explain the first point that we've identified. Likewise, we get the third mark for identifying the second point, right? And we get the fourth mark for explaining the second point that we've already identified. So this is like this, treated like two separate questions of 2 marks each. I'd like to suggest you to use block paragraphs over here. Now, what do I mean when I use the term block paragraphs? When I use the term block paragraphs, what I actually mean is leave a line in between. Leave a line in between so that you are making it clearer to the examiner that you're done with the identification and explanation of first point. Leave a line in between, leave this blank, and then you start off with the second point. Now, I'd like you to keep in mind the point that you're choosing, for instance, over here, they say describe two examples of how education contributes to the economy. So this first point, the first example that you're choosing, make sure you are choosing an example that you know you can develop further, that you know you can explain further. Now, for this question, you aren't supposed to write any sociological reference. Of course, if you're writing down key terms, that always is helpful. And yeah, so it's that simple. How to score a 4 on 4. Thank you.